Be a Better You Annual Challenge Day 41. Today we're talking about ego and identity, and I grabbed my granddaughter's birthday Barbie. She just got birthday Barbie. She's only 4, so maybe she's a little small for Barbies, but the point is it's pretty. She can play with it, but it ties into our topic today. I think we've all seen those plastic surgery or video posts, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us, of somebody that's gotten all this plastic surgery because they wanted to look just like Barbie. Now, you can get plastic surgery. You can do all kinds of things externally to change your appearance, to change who you are. But really, what we're looking to do when it comes to our ego and identity is become the best possible version of ourselves. And that's what this year's challenge is all about. So what the heck does ego and identity have to do with our level of confidence and our ability to create the life we want? And like I say about everything, it's okay to model and learn from other people, but if you're copying and trying to be a clone of someone else, you're really doing yourself and the world a disservice, because there's only one you. There's a reason that there's so many Barbies and they all call each other Barbie. They're not very deep, right? They're not very, unless you watch the Barbie movie and the one Barbie is, enlightened and has sort of a clue about choice and things. But for the most part, the Barbies that we see are just a superficial version, a little tiny bit of the identity and ego that we often show when we show up in the world. So ego to me is driven from external forces. It's how we respond to how the world treats us. It's how we see ourselves through the eyes of someone else, something outside of us. And our identity to me is, and this is my definition, which I want you to think about your definition today, is, I do need a magnifying glass and a cough. To me, identity is how we see ourselves on the inside. And I think that that's very, very different, because on the inside, we are all these different versions of ourselves combined together to make who we are, our identity. On the outside, we can show different versions of ourselves in different environments. For example, if I think back to how I show up in the corporate world and how I lead in a corporate organization, I might lead the same way in similar ways, but the identity and the parts of my personality that I take to corporate America, in this case, took to corporate America, and still do sometimes when I'm working with that group or members of that, identity, a different version of me shows up. A much more professional, polished version of me shows up than what I show up and how I show up in the rest of my life. Like, I'm very different with my granddaughters than I am with my corporate clients. I guess that's a good way of putting it. I'm still the same person, same core values, same core beliefs. And I think identity is tied to our core beliefs, what's really, really important to us. And we decide what parts of that identity we show. I mean, we are multifaceted, multi-talented human beings, each and every one of us. Even if we feel sometimes like we don't have any talents, we absolutely positively have skills and talents, and they're all in this unique mesh and blend that makes us the most important person in the world to us, for us, because we are creating our life. Nobody can do it for us. We have to do it ourselves based on the choices and the preferences that we have. So what does ego and identity have to do with confidence? Some people are egocentric, ego-driven, and they thrive on outside accolades and awards and acknowledgement from people and things outside of themselves. We all like that, right? We all like to get recognized and an award once in a while, but some people are absolutely positively driven by that. Other people are more identity-driven, and they are more concerned about how do things make them feel. How are they responding to the world and the environment? What are they creating in the world and the environment? And it's more in alignment with their core values, whatever those might be. Some people have really bad core values, let's be honest. But that's not for us to judge. Somebody else gets to judge that someday. So our tool today, and I want you to think about this, is identity shift, making an identity shift, choosing consciously what components of what make us up show up in different environments and different situations. And hopefully they're in alignment with your core values in any environment or any situation that you choose to participate in. An identity shift, it's key to lasting confidence, because really we want our ego, how the outside world treats us and sees us, and our identity to match, right? And as long as those match, we flow through life. When they don't match, we have struggles and challenges because our identity is trying to always express itself, in my humble opinion. My identity, who I really am, is always screaming to get out. My favorite job, and I don't know if I tell this story very often, but my favorite job in corporate America was the last job I had in corporate America, because I went into that role and the interviewing for that role with an entirely different mindset than I had ever taken with me, a different version of my identity than I'd ever taken with me in other corporate jobs before. I'd had great corporate jobs before, but I wasn't a really good fit for them. I didn't fit into the culture particularly well. I didn't feel like I could go there and be who I really was without tampering it or stomping it down and showing up how that organization's culture expected me to show up. And my last job, I went in and I'm like, hey, what you see is what you get. These are my beliefs. These are my core values. This is how I show up. This is my expectations and what I'm here to do and what I think I can do for you. And of course, I got that job, stayed there 5 years until they were bought out by someone bigger. And that's when I left corporate America once and for all. Realized that I'd much rather be doing things on my own, because that's my identity, than working for someone else. Now, we all still work for someone else, right? If we're a consultant or a coach or whatever we are, we're providing a service to somebody. The world is so interconnected. We need other human beings. And I don't say I don't need other human beings. I'm just saying I don't want to be beholden to them for my livelihood and having to do things that are maybe on the edge of my core values or my belief systems. So we can make identity shifts anytime we choose, meaning I can show up in a professional environment very, very professionally. I really can. And I can show up in a fun environment with the kids or the grandkids and just have fun and be myself and go with the flow. So how do we do this? How do we practice identity shifting to improve our confidence? Number one, we use I am statements. Remember, whatever we say after I am, our subconscious believes it and will find evidence to support it, whether it's actually true or not, whether it's actually good for us or not. So I always say, I love affirmations, but make sure that you're making one. And then if you're going to repeat it, actually consciously think about it and the ramifications of it. Because sometimes we're I aming ourselves in negative ways and keeping ourselves blocked or limited. If I say, I'm trying to think of something that would keep me limited. I'm not going to do this. Okay, never mind. So just be careful with that. We'll talk about that later when we get to mental well-being and being a better version of ourselves. So practice I am statements, use I am statements. Number two, visualize. Visualize your identity and yourself in various situations exactly as you want to be. Not as you are right now, as you want to be. Number three, take small actions every single day. Why do I do a 365-day challenge? Because I know that it is easier to habitually do one little thing every day to get the result that I want than to have to do and expect that I'm going to do one big thing in the year and it's going to get me the results I want. Now, I do both, right? Sometimes one big thing is what I need. Other times, the single daily action reinforces the bigger projects that I choose to do throughout the year. Number four, correct negative self-talk. I don't know about you, but I am 100% guilty of negative self-talk. My daughter corrected me yesterday on it. And I'm like, because I was saying something to her daughter and she's like, yeah, that's negative self-talk, Grandma. Don't model that. I don't think she said don't model that, but she just called me out on it, which was good because guess what? We subconsciously reiterate stuff that isn't even true for us anymore, right? I don't even remember what it was about, but it was like, yeah, that's not even true. So why did I even say that? Anyway, number five, surround yourself with positive, supported, like-minded people, like-minded in terms of where you want to be, not where you are right now. And sometimes you're not actually in an environment where you're with those people. So I will take a page out of my friend Evel Beckford's book and share that if you don't actually physically have the environment and the people that you need around you to become the person you want to be, the best possible version of yourself, read books, listen to courses, take courses online, find mentors. You can have nowadays with the internet, anyone can have anyone as a mentor for the most part by reading their material, reading what they share online. So seek out your own group of positive influences, positive groups, join supportive groups, join whatever will help you to continue to do your identity shift in becoming the best possible version of yourself. So, any questions about this? Hit me up. I actually really like this topic. I think it's really fun to watch people and see what part of their identity is showing up in different situations, or and watch movies and things and watch the transformation and identity shifts of people. I think we're shifting and growing all the time. If we're not, we're staying the same. And if we're staying the same, we're declining. So I say, embrace your identity, create what you want it to be. And as far as your ego goes, guess what? It's going to take care of itself. It really does. All right. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.